So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. The reason for this lecture series is because current affairs form a very important portion of your prelims examination and prelims is round the corner. Therefore, you need to cover current affairs because current affairs form around 40 to 50% of your prelims paper. 40 to 50% of the questions are directly or indirectly related to current affairs. Therefore, you have to make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. Why? Because 4 to 5 MCQs covered on a daily basis would add up to more than 1200 MCQs from the topic of current affairs alone. So your 40 to 50% of the paper would get covered only through this lecture series. So make it a part of your daily routine. All right, enough of the introduction. Let's straight away jump into the lecture, starting with question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding blue flag certification. It is a globally recognized eco-label given to beaches, marinas, and boating tourism operators that meet stringent environmental and safety standards. It is awarded by Foundation for Environmental Education based on 33 criteria. India has a total of 12 blue flag beaches. Okay, so all these tourism sites, marine tourism sites like beaches, marinas, and boating tourism sites, well, globally they are recognized for their quality. If these tourism sites are high quality, they follow high hygiene and water quality and sanitation standards, and they have all the good safety standards, well, they are given a blue flag certification. If any particular beach or tourism site has blue flag certification, then that means that particular area is good for tourists, it's environmentally sustainable, and it's of high quality. Therefore, all the beaches of the world want this blue flag certification. Now, this blue flag certification is provided by a Denmark-based organization called Foundation for Environmental Education, and it assesses these beaches based on 33 criteria. Okay, these 33 criteria are basically focusing on 4 key areas. Okay, so these 33 criteria are based on 4 key areas. Number 1 is environmental quality, that means quality of water. Then number 2 is safety. Then number 3 is sustainable practices. Okay, and number 4 is education, environmental education to the local population. Okay, so these 33 criteria focuses on these 4 key areas, and based on the performance of that particular area, it is given blue flag certification. So second statement is correct, first statement is correct. And what about India's performance? So there are 12 beaches in India that have these proud blue flag certifications. Okay, these are in southern states and western and eastern states of India, also Lakshadweep and Andaman Nicobar Islands. Okay, so there are 12 sites which have blue flag certification. So all 3 statements are correct. Question number 2. Which of the following statements are correct regarding Senkaku Islands? These are a group of 8 uninhabited islands in South China Sea currently administered by Japan. The region is rich in fossil fuels and fishery resources. These islands were under US control until 1971. Both China and Taiwan lay claim to these islands. Okay, so look, Senkaku Islands are a group of 8 uninhabited islands, which is a territory of dispute between Japan and China. Okay, earlier before World War II, they were under Japanese control. Okay, but Japan lost in World War II and lost to USA. Therefore, Japan, after losing to USA in World War II, signed a treaty called Treaty of San Francisco. Okay, in 1951. Under this treaty, Japan had to cede a lot of territories to USA. One such territory was Senkaku Islands. So Senkaku Islands was given to USA under US trusteeship. Okay, so USA was to hold these territories, these 8 islands, temporarily under their trusteeship. Now USA decided to let go of this trusteeship in 1971 and handed these islands over to Japan. Okay, so these are under Japanese control since 1972. So these are a group of 8 uninhabited islands in not South China Sea. They are in East China Sea. Just remember this part, okay? Had they been in South China Sea, Japan would have had no control. Japan is far away from South China Sea. It is in East China Sea. Okay. Otherwise, this statement would have been correct if East China Sea would have been written over here. So this statement is false. Now, recently, since the 1970s, not recently, since the 1970s, China has been laying claim over these islands. And the reason for that is these islands are rich in oil and gas reserves and fishery resources. So this part is correct. These islands were under US control until 1971. Absolutely correct. And the thing is, it's not just China that lays claim over these islands, it's also Taiwan, because Taiwan is also closer to these islands. So this statement is also correct. 2, 3, and 4. The answer is B. Question 3. Consider the following regarding Indian TB Genomic Surveillance Consortium. It is part of Dare to Eradicate TB program, which was launched in 2022 to enhance data-driven research in eradicating tuberculosis. INTGS is spearheaded by Department of Biotechnology, Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, Indian Council of Medical Research. INTGS aims genome sequencing of 32,000 isolates of Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Okay. So the thing is that WHO has asked India to eradicate TB from its territory by 2030. So this is WHO's goal. But India actually advanced this goal by 5 years. India sought to eradicate TB by 2025. But we are currently in 2025 and TB is far from being eradicated. So most probably, realistically, Government of India has now shifted its goalpost and would want to eradicate TB by 2030. Now, to eradicate TB, you just don't have to eradicate normal TB. You also have to eradicate those bacterial strains of TB which are multi-drug resistant. On these bacterial strains, drugs don't work, or first line of drugs don't work. Then there are extreme drug resistant tuberculosis bacteria. Okay, so you need different medicines for them. If you really want to eradicate TB completely, you need research on them also. Okay. Therefore, Government of India in 2022 launched Dare to Eradicate TB program, under which various kinds of researches would be done so that we have more information regarding eradicating TB. Okay. Now, under this Dare to Eradicate TB program, we also launched Indian TB Genomic Surveillance Consortium. Okay. What would happen in this consortium is that high quality labs all over the country would analyze the complete genome of 32,000 different strains of Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which is the bacteria that causes tuberculosis. Okay, so 32,000 different strains of Mycobacterium tuberculosis, their genes would be analyzed so that we get an idea about the genetic disposition of multi-drug resistance TB bacteria and extreme drug resistant TB bacteria. Okay, so under Dare to Eradicate TB program, we launched INTGS. Okay, so first statement is correct. Now, INTGS is spearheaded by Department of Biotechnology, which is under Ministry of Science and Technology, Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, and ICMR. This part is also correct. INTGS aims genome sequencing of 32,000 isolates of Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This is also correct. All statements are correct. The answer is D. Okay. And last, which of the following statements are not correct regarding DNA polymorphism? Okay. These are variations in human DNA detected through short tandem repeats analysis, STR analysis. Okay. Humans have 22 pair of chromosomes, with each pair inherited from each parent. Chromosomes contains genes which carry instructions for traits like eye color, height, susceptibility of diseases. Okay. Now the thing is, all living beings have DNA. And this DNA is basically a molecule. Okay. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Now this DNA, these molecules are in our genes. So all living things have genes. Okay. Now these genes are responsible for our physiological traits. How tall we will be, what will be our skin color, what will be our hair quality like, how would our internal organs be, everything is mentioned in a way, encoded in our genes. And we inherit these genes from our parents. That's why we resemble our parents. But each and every person's DNA is unique. It's different. Okay? If we can identify each and every person's DNA, we can definitely get to know the identity of a person. This comes in really handy in criminal investigations. Okay, sometimes you basically a murderer gets away from a site and police reaches there and they find blood sample, and they basically run that blood sample with the DNA of different criminals and they identify a criminal. You must have seen that in various detective shows, right? So it is through the analysis of DNA that we identify people. Okay. The reason for that is every individual has unique DNA. And this phenomena of every individual having unique DNA is known as DNA polymorphism. Now, the way to detect DNA, you can detect DNA or differences in DNA polymorphism, through two processes. One is STR analysis, short tandem repeats, and the other is polymerase chain reaction, PCR analysis. Okay, so first statement is correct. You don't have to know what STR and PCR are, just remember the names. Okay, now humans have 22 pairs of chromosomes. No, the thing is, all human beings have 23 pairs of chromosomes. Okay, 23 pairs means that basically you have 46 chromosomes. Okay, 23 pair means 2, so you have 46 chromosomes. 23 comes from your father and 23 comes from your mother. All right, and hence you have 46 chromosomes. So it's not 22, it's 23. So this statement is false. Now, chromosomes contain genes, and these genes have your entire physiological bodily information, which you have inherited from your parents. So this part is correct. 1 and 3, answer is C. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I hope it has, I don't hope, I know it has added value to your preparation. But it would add more value if you revise this lecture as well. And by revision, I mean spending another 5 to 10 minutes taking a look at written detailed solutions to each and every MCQ discussed above. Now, these solutions are provided in our notes, and we have shared these notes on our Telegram channel. The link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below this video. You just have to click on that link. It'll take you to our Telegram channel, and from there you can download the notes for this lecture and do the necessary revision. And on that note, I'll be signing off with the promise of seeing you again with another set of MCQs. Thank you, everyone.